You're probably thinking it's just shoplifting. How bad could it be? But in Oklahoma, even a petty theft conviction can wreck your record and your future. Because once it's out there, it doesn't just disappear. Employers see it, landlords see it, and in some cases, you lose job opportunities before you even get the interview. I'm John Cannon, and I'm a criminal defense attorney here in Oklahoma. And I've seen too many people plead guilty without realizing what they're signing up for. This video walks you through what a conviction actually costs and what options you still have to protect your record, even if you've already been charged. How do you do? See how fast you can go without losing clarity. Let's start with employment. Most employers run background checks. Theft and shoplifting are often viewed as dishonesty offenses. Even when the situation was minor, even when it's a first offense, a conviction can still look like a trust problem on paper. That affects hiring. It can also affect promotions, security clearance, and jobs where you're handling money, inventory, patients, kids, or sensitive information. Some fields are especially strict: healthcare, education, banking, and government, and any job with fiduciary responsibilities. If you've already had a job, a conviction can still trigger discipline or termination, depending on your employer's policies. Next, the charge level matters more than most people realize. A lot of people assume shoplifting is always a misdemeanor, but in Oklahoma, the value of the property and your record can change the stakes fast. If prosecutors treat the case as a felony, the consequences increase dramatically. Felony exposure can affect far more than just a court outcome. It can impact jobs, housing, licensing, and your ability to move forward cleanly. And even when someone avoids prison, a felony record can still act like a closed door in daily life. Now, let's talk about how long this lasts. A theft or shoplifting conviction does not automatically disappear after a few years. If someone runs a background check, that conviction can still show up. That includes employers, landlords, schools, licensing boards, and sometimes lenders. Clearing a record usually requires a separate legal process. That process can involve eligibility rules, waiting periods, paperwork, and court steps. So the safest approach is not, "I'll fix it later." The safest approach is to avoid the conviction in the first place if you legally can. If you're not a U.S. citizen, the risk can be even higher. If you're not a U.S. citizen, do not assume a theft or shoplifting conviction is small. A conviction can create immigration consequences that are far more serious than the state court penalties. It can affect visas, green cards, naturalization, and in some situations, it can trigger removal proceedings. If immigration status is part of your life, you need legal advice that considers both the Oklahoma case and the federal immigration impact before you plead to anything. Now, let's cover the immediate penalties people don't expect. A lot of people think, if I plead, I'll pay a fine and move on. In reality, a plea can come with multiple layers of consequences. You can see fines and court costs. You may see the restitution. You can be placed on probation with monthly fees and strict conditions. And yes, jail is a possibility, depending on the charge level, the facts, and your history. Probation also has a trap built into it: violations. Missing an appointment, failing a condition, or falling behind financially can put you back in court and can lead to warrants or jail time. So a quick plea can turn into months or years of supervision and risk. So what should you do instead? Every case is different, but in Oklahoma, there are often options worth exploring before anyone pleads guilty. Depending on the facts and your background, an attorney may be able to pursue outcomes like dismissal, reduction to a lesser offense, a deferred sentence, diversion, or similar program when they're available. Negotiation resolutions that protect your future better than a straight conviction. The key point is timing. Once you plead guilty and take a conviction, many of your options become harder or impossible. One option I want you to understand is the deferred sentence. A deferred sentence can be a lifeline in the right case. In a deferred sentence, the court holds the case open while you complete requirements such as probation terms, classes, community service, or other conditions. If you successfully complete the deferred period, the case is dismissed on your sentencing date and can go away. That can put you in a much better position moving forward than a conviction, but you have to handle this correctly from the beginning. Eligibility, strategy, and paperwork matter. The way the case is negotiated matters, and mistakes early can cost you later. Here's the bottom line. People plead guilty for one reason more than any other. They want it to be over. They're embarrassed. They're stressed. They're scared. They feel judged. They're worried about money. They're worried about court. But a theft or shoplifting conviction can cost far more than the short-term inconvenience of fighting the case the right way. If you're charged with theft or shoplifting in Oklahoma, a guilty plea is a conviction, and convictions can follow you. Theft-related convictions could damage jobs, housing, and licenses. The charge level can escalate, including felony exposure. Your record does not automatically clear itself. Non-citizens can face serious immigration consequences, penalties that can include fines, restitution, probation, and possibly jail. Options like dismissal, reduction of charges, diversion, or deferred sentence may exist, but timing matters. If you want the best chance of protecting your record, start with my last video, How to Beat a Destruction of Property Charge. That's where I break down how to fight a property case the right way before conviction follows you for years. I'll see you over there.